Hi everybody, welcome to tnSportsChat presented by Lehigh Valley Health Network. I'm Patrick Matsinko, this is Emmett McCall. We're back to our regular format, I guess our regularly scheduled programming. Last time we were with you, I was with an old friend, Justin Carlucci. That was kind of a bit of our season preview,
You and Justin handled the season preview.
Yeah.
Justin's going to be back. He's going to do some of these during the year. You're going to be out live on location for some of these shoots. We might have some guests on. But yeah, we've got a pretty exciting package for you for the high school football season, I think.
So there's a lot to look forward to on that front with, I guess, hopefully where we're hoping to take the show and kind of take it on the road, I guess. But yeah, like you said, last time we tackled the, see what I did there?
Good.
That's going to be my highlight of the season probably. But we tackled the bit of a preseason kind of preview primer, looking around a little bit. But now we have a full week of high school football under our belt. Friday
no
night
more
lights,
guessing
all that.
how some of the teams are going to be. We got to see in the opening week what teams looked really good. A lot of our area teams looked really good. We had 6 of our 9 teams got victories. So now we can actually talk about what we saw on the field and not just what we think is going to happen on the field.
Yeah, and again, you kind of think about the teams that came away with victories. It was 6 of the 9 area schools that came away with wins. Some did so in really impressive fashion.
Yeah, Jim Thorpe and Tamaqua, who we kind of thought were going to be good, didn't give any indication that we weren't right about that, because both of those teams were extremely impressive. Shutout victories, blowout victories on the opening week against a couple of teams. Jim Thorpe against Haven, Tamaqua against Line Mountain, teams that weren't supposed to be too bad. Teams that were pretty decent teams coming into the year, a lot of people thought, and they both dominated the first week.
Yeah, and a couple other teams that also picked up wins, kind of broke some dry spells there where you had, Northern Lehigh got a first win.
Winless last year.
Yeah. So
nice for Joe Tout and his staff to get that win and kind of get off to a good start in 2018.
And then you had, Northwestern, Panther Valley, Lehighton, all picked up wins as well. Northwestern was obviously
exciting win there, but even Lehighton and Panther Valley had close wins, comeback wins in the second half, close games that kind of went down to final possessions in all 3 of those games. So we had some blowout wins. We had some really good, exciting down to the wire wins. Good mix of football on the opening weekend.
Marion, Palmerton, Pleasant Valley were the teams that kind of came up short, I guess you'd say, in week 1.
Right.
Marion played tough. Pleasant Valley too, and as did Palmerton. I mean, maybe those games aren't necessarily reflective of kind of the way those the way the final outcome was.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all 9 area teams, the winners, the losers, what they have coming up, how they did in the opening week. We've got kind of a new format set up here to do
Blitz.
Yes, the Thursday afternoon high school football blitz we'll have here.
And we're going to be on a timer.
Right. We're going to try to keep it moving, try to make it interesting, try to keep it upbeat, try to keep it,
We're going to keep moving, hopefully, and try to do this almost in like a no-huddle sort of fashion, because maybe potentially a little bit long-winded sometimes.
That's what our editor tells us.
Yeah, so we're trying to run a bit of a hurry-up offense here, but
little PTI with the timer. And we don't have the graphics.
Or the bobbleheads or anything. We don't have anything fancy.
We're going to try
this, but so there is urgency. So we'll just dive right into it. First team I think that maybe we should look at is Jim Thorpe, a team that we kind of started the year with, the preseason football tab cover, Red Swarm, all that.
Defense played up to expectations, shutout. Schuylkill Haven team held them to 80 yards in total offense.
Rip Schuylkill Haven.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of the teams that was picked to be Division II champ, media coaches,
Unanimous.
And when you shut out a team like that, a kid and Kobe Brish, who is one of the best in the state.
Yeah. And not only the defense, though. The offense obviously looked really good, too. Put some early touchdowns on the board, and both sides of the ball looked really good.
CJ Selby had over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, there's a kid where you look at, you look at St. Hill, he's gone. Now you have Selby in there, who obviously is going to get more playing time.
Not missing a beat.
No. So that looks like, Mark Rosenberger and that staff, that they pretty much have, they have the guys in place. They're ready to go.
And they have Marion this week, another local team, and
that's it.
Because of that, we're on to Marion.
Marion obviously played a tough game against Midwest. Midwest team got their first program win.
They were East combo program with East Juniata last year. Most of the kids on that team were from Midwest, so this year they decided to establish their own football program and not play in a co-op with East Juniata. Took an early lead on Marion, and Marion really never recovered. I saw Pat Morgan said, they got themselves in an early hole. Missed Seth Pollock, I'm sure. Not only starting halfback, best offensive player, biggest offensive weapon, but also middle linebacker on the defense, and I think that's where they missed the most in week 1.
And I think, too, you look at what a Matt Doherty did, where he went over 100 yards out of the backfield. You have still Mason Miller, a quarterback.
A touchdown pass to Keith McCall. So there were some bright sides, but they have their work cut out for them this week going against Jim Thorpe. Marion's going to try to kind of move forward and try to get a little better start this week.
Yeah, so another team, too, that we had kind of talked about a lot, I think, in the preseason was Tamaqua.
Right.
And we had mentioned earlier about what they did to Line Mountain, 42-0. The offense
Killer bees.
Wow,
Braden,
as advertised.
Briner, Boyle.
And Boyle.
Yeah.
And Boyle does it in all 3 phases, too.
Yes.
I mean, he kicks, he's obviously
catching passes, running for 2 touchdowns, I believe. Briner had a couple of touchdowns, 149 yards, something like that. You have the stats and your eyes are better than mine.
Briner went for 126. We had Boyle for 116, but we also had Boyle, just this close to cracking 100 yards receiving, which is, and he had 6 extra points.
Braden Knobloch threw for 160 yards. And defense also. They have linemen back. The offensive line did a great job opening holes, and on the other side of the ball, they really shut down the Line Mountain attack.
Yeah. Now this week they got a Mahanoy area team, which kind of another test for them. So Mahanoy area coming up Friday. And again, just I could thinking about that Northwestern game. That was one that really kind of stood out where, I was trying to follow along and,
I was in the office
the feed.
And Chuck Hickson was tweeting the games in and I'm posting them on the website, and it was exciting. It was back and forth, 42-41 Northwestern in overtime for anybody who didn't catch it. Notre Dame was highly touted coming into the season, have one of the best quarterbacks in the District 11, if not the whole state. And Northwestern was able to outscore them.
Yeah, and I think too, and I know Chuck Hickson, who did our Player of the Week story. Devin Ballinger was our Player of the Week. He had
5 touchdowns. Ran for 2, passed for 3.
Had the clinching touchdown too, as well.
Big run in overtime.
Huge game at the quarterback position, and he played well on defense too. But they gave Notre Dame a short field a couple of times, and Notre Dame cashed in on it. So I think maybe some of those drives were a little bit 42-41, but Notre Dame took advantage of some short fields.
Did also have my overtime column this week was on Northwestern. It's ringing. Stop it. Northwestern was able to show a really tough mental attitude. They had some things go against them, and they didn't let them get down.
Yeah, and obviously, they just kind of need to keep it going against Salisbury this week in a pretty loaded Colonial League. And thinking about a couple of teams that had comeback wins last week, maybe, played close games where you look at Elite Heighton against Fleetwood and Panther Valley against Hamburg. But the Indians, kind of starting off now with, Chris Whiteman at quarterback, Cody Shear gone.
Some new faces at running back, at quarterback. So it might take them a few games, and I think Coach Tom McCarroll understood that after the game. If you listen to his remarks, didn't play as well as he thinks they will eventually play, but they played well enough to get the win, and that's what matters.
Yeah, Zach Crum over 100 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns.
McCarroll called him the best receiver in the area in the preseason, and he kind of lived up to that billing.
Yeah, huge, big playability. And they're going to need it again come Friday night against against Schuylkill Haven.
Who's going to be anxious to bounce back from their loss to Jim Thorpe. That should be a good game. That's the game I'll be at Friday night.
Yeah, so that's definitely one that I'm looking forward to. The other, I mean, you think about Panther Valley team, which battled back to top Columbia Montour Votech last week. A nice win for head coach Scott Price for those guys to be able to come out second half and put that one away.
Right. Actually, fourth quarter. They were
Yeah.
down going into the fourth quarter, scored 2 touchdowns early in the fourth quarter, got a couple conversions, went from a 2-point deficit to a 14-point lead. And they have some young kids, some new faces, and I think Scott had to be pretty happy that they were able to come back, because sometimes with younger squads like that, you get down, you drop your head a little, but they didn't do that and were able to get off to a win on the season.
Yeah, they get Hamburg this week. Again, another tough team, and also one too that's not necessarily in our area, so it's kind of an unknown. We've talked about some of these
Valley
teams.
did beat them last year.
Yeah,
they have a chance for another 2-0 start like they had last year.
And again, you think about kind of building that culture and that tradition, and having a 2-0 start is only going to go to further that and kind of help these kids sort of build that foundation. So.
Good job by quarterback Ethan Reese for Panther Valley.
Yeah.
Played really well.
And a kid that, again, I think is just going to kind of grow into that role as the season goes on. So, and again, we kind of talked about a lot of these teams, but another one that we didn't mention is Northern Lehigh, which, huge. I mean,
right.
To be able
you come off a 0-10 season. Obviously you don't know what to expect. You're hoping to be better, but you need to show that on the field, and they did that in the opening game.
Yeah, had a 14-12 lead at halftime, outscored Wilson 20-6 in the second half, which was a far cry from a year ago.
You had a great stat in your story that's going to be in Thursday's Times News.
Outscored 170-38 in the second half last year, but I think in 8 of their 10 games, they were within at least 2 possessions at halftime.
Which I didn't know until you mentioned it to me. I knew they were 0-10, but I didn't realize
several
most of those
were 1
games,
possessions.
Right, were very competitive in the first half, and to turn it around and to win because of the second half they had in the opening night. I think Coach Tout's pretty happy with that performance.
Yes.
Who had big games for them?
Justin Paul had 3 rushing touchdowns all in the second half, which is huge, and again, I think
they have a sort of a tailback tradition there, and he might be next in line for that.
And you think about quarterback, you think about Gage Hunsiger, you think about Mike Repsher, and now they might have some other guys that are going to maybe see some time this week. So I think there's a lot to be excited about at Northern Lehigh. And then again, we mentioned Marion lost last week, but Palmerton played a really, really tough opener. I mean,
they were tied with Palisades at halftime, and Palisades has was undefeated last year, league champs, one of the favorites again this year in the Colonial League, and Palmerton battled them tooth and nail in the first half, and actually had the lead for most of that first half.
And you look at Palmerton quarterback Lucas Haight. I mean, he played a really strong game.
Big shoes to fill, stepping in for Takeo Gatus this year, and he really did a nice
Garrett
job.
Hershey,
Right,
so
the last 2 quarterbacks. He's only a freshman, right?
He's young. I mean, and again, you think about a Palisades defense that was so stifling last year, and nobody could do anything against them. So to have a kid like that really kind of come in and show that he's capable of, kind of producing a big game in a season opener was massive.
And
massive
Cody Waterhouse had a pick 6 for them. I think that was at the second touchdown. Got Palmerton one of their first half touchdowns on a pick 6, so they showed some good things there in the secondary.
And Aaron Stasko too, receiving, had a really nice game as well. So Palmerton, we're looking to bounce back, as will Pleasant Valley. Pleasant Valley, I was at the Bears opener last week, first game for head coach Matt Schulich, 42-0 loss to Liberty. That's a Liberty team with a running back, Nasir Legree, who had almost, he eclipsed 3,000 yards for his career last week against Pleasant Valley.
A lot of people think he's one of the best, or at least 2 or 3 best running backs in the Eastern Pennsylvania Conference, which says a lot. They've had some pretty good running backs in that conference in the last few years. There's this Barkley kid, I think. He had a pretty good season, career somewhere.
But you think about guys like that and the kids they produce, and it's just.
And now people are comparing him to that level of running back.
So, I mean, he had a nice game, but the Bears, Jack Stevens, first game starting at quarterback, really showed his toughness, hung in there. Nasai Moon at tailback, Johnny Mitchell, they're going to be looking to get these guys, kind of acclimated to starting roles.
Tough opener to have with a powerful Liberty team like that.
Yeah, and it's really no drop-off in the EPC, but they get Allen this week, and the Bears will be looking to pick up week.
Allen lost big
against
week
Emmaus,
one, right?
62-6.
So the Bears have a chance.
Yeah. So that is, I think, everybody.
Is that the rapid fire? Did we get all 9 teams?
I think we did. I think we did. So yeah, this is a little different for that this year, but definitely something we're looking forward to. Try to keep everybody, sort of on track, I guess, on schedule, but helps me, I know. But yeah, like we said about Devin Ballinger, he was our Times News Player of the Week after the win against Notre Dame.
Check out Thursday's Times News. We have our football page. We'll have a story about Devin. Chuck Hickson did it. Ron Heckman and myself put together an overtime column. You talked to Coach Tout for our game of the week this week, which is Northern
tonight.
Lehigh. That's right, Thursday night, Northern Lehigh Catasauqua, a little something different. You talk about how they decided to play it and how they didn't mind having only 4 days off after playing a Saturday game.
A little bit of a different, feel, I guess, coming off of a Saturday game. I think it definitely helps to kind of come off of it with a win.
Yeah, I think that helped.
And know that you have a short week, but hey, at least you're coming out of it with a W. And I know Coach Tao, too, mentioned that they've been preparing for what they're going to face with Caddy and, kind of a special sort of, Navy triple option that's a little bit different, maybe hard to defend, but I think those kids are going to be ready to roll, and they get Caddy on Thursday night. So,
and we'll also have Rod Heckman has all the stats from the opening weekend in there. We have capsules on the other games besides the Northern Lehigh game. So we think it's a great read, and you should check it out.
Yeah. So that'll be it for the football. I guess
one more
aspect
thing with
of
football
it.
I want to add in.
Oh, okay.
Just for people who don't get out to the games, or even if you are out to the games and you are interested in how some of the other area teams are doing, I think you'll be interested if you go to the Times News website. We have our local scoreboard up there on a Friday night, and the scores are updated almost as they happen. We have writers at every game. They're either tweeting the results or texting the results back to our person in the office. And last week it was myself in the office. This week it'll be Rod Heckman. Those results will be updated, right on the spot with live scoring updates. So you can follow all 9 area teams as they're playing by going to our website. And it's really cool. If you're out at another game, if you're out at a Schuylkill League football game, you're at a Lehigh game, you want to see how Tamaqua and Jim Thorpe are doing, just go to the Times News website. It'll keep updating, and you can follow them quarter by quarter, scoring drive by scoring drive.
Yeah, and I like that. It's a great way for everybody to kind of stay in touch and stay informed with what's going on around the area. Whether it's a league game, non-league game, it's definitely a neat feature to have, and something that I think we hope to kind of take advantage of a little bit more too going forward. So so look for that on Friday. But a couple other things. We still haven't exactly hit sort of full stride with fall sports starting yet. That'll come tomorrow.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We'll have, everybody will play 2 football games, but most of the other sports are just going to get started. So
we're wrapping up our fall sports previews this week. We still have, we had field hockey running today, Thursday, and then we have cross country scheduled to go Friday, tomorrow. So that'll be it for our fall sports previews. But we do have golf and tennis that have been in full swing.
And we have a couple teams doing really well.
Yeah, and definitely a huge shout out to Jim Thorpe, which beat Pottsville 5-0 on Wednesday to move to 5-0 this year.
5-0 in the season, yeah. And I don't want to say too much about our competition, but if you are on Facebook, and you should follow Nor Blindhart, the Jim Thorpe tennis coach, because he does a little video presentation after every one of their matches that's really good, really interesting. So check out Coach Nor.
And it's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's a cool way to kind of get some insight into how the season's going and sort of get thoughts from Norb, on how the girls are playing, and he does it during the boys season as well.
Yep.
So
and like you said, 5-0 start. There's a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah. So this is awesome for that whole program. And also just on Wednesday, the Palmerton and Pleasant Valley golf teams picked up wins. So
and we have some teams playing really well. Marion golf team is 4-1.
Which
surprising because they're very young
Yeah.
and they haven't had a lot of low scores, but
No.
it's like just win, baby. And
Yeah.
that's what they're doing. On the other hand, Northwestern and Tamaqua have had some golfers shoot really nice scores this year. So we do have some pretty good area golfers this year.
And thinking about Northwestern, Joe Fry, we just had a golfer that for the Tigers that they played Saucon Valley. It was a loss, but I think he shot a 76.
Which might be our best round of the year for any golfer. So.
And Northwestern has our reigning golfer of the year. Well, had our reigning golfer of the year in Mason Bogwell. So obviously it's a program with Coach Miller. They produced, Cole Miller. They've produced a ton of great talent at Northwestern in recent years. So looks like a lot of guys are just kind of following in those footsteps. So
and they are the only two sports going on right now. But starting Friday, volleyball, boys soccer, girls soccer, field hockey, and cross country will all be kicking off. So in our upcoming weeks, we'll have a little more about those sports.
Yeah, and kind of wait till kind of let that get sorted out a little bit, and then we'll have much more to bring you on those fronts, which we're definitely looking forward to. So I think that's everything though for this week. So
if you have any we're looking for feedback. If you liked our 2-minute offense, no huddle offense, hurry up offense, whatever you want to call it, let us know.
Yeah, so definitely keeps you alert, I guess, when you're waiting for that alarm to go off. But yeah, that's all for this week. For Emmett McCall, I'm Patrick Matsinko. Thank you again for tuning in to TN Sports Chat, presented by Lehigh Valley Health Network.